Hello, everyone, and welcome to D2C Dialogues. Today, we have with us Vikas Bagaria, founder and CEO of PSafe. And I'm sure all of you must have heard about PSafe, House of Brands. But here, a quick introduction about what PSafe is all about. The experience that has always troubled women while visiting the public washroom has led to a journey of R&D by the co-founder, Srijana Bagaria, with the help of her husband, Vikas Bagaria, the founder. They were determined to find out a way of risking UTI and other hazardous infections every time one visits a public washroom. The toilet seat sanitizer spray was introduced shortly thereafter, a spray that has saved millions of women across the country from the risk of contracting UTI. The toilet seat sanitizer spray has been a saving grace for all public toilets since 2013. With this product in your bag, everyone, especially women, feels much safer knowing that the risk of contracting UTI and other infection has been reduced by 99.9%. Gradually, the need for a lot of other hygiene essentials has been identified, and we have taken it upon ourselves, that is the PSafe company, to talk about things that are usually hushed in our society. With pride, they pride themselves on being outspoken, bold, courageous, witty, and a personal sexual menstrual hygiene expert. With this, I would like to welcome Vikas Bagaria, the founder of PSafe. Welcome to D2C Dialogues, Vikas.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Bhatt. Thank you for having me here. Pleasure.
The first question, which you must have answered, n number of times, but even today, it's as relevant as it was when you started. Why did you start this business? You are from a traditional family of having their own businesses, and getting into a category like as intimate as this one. So when did it happen that you should start this company of yours? And before that, what was that aha idea or the moment?
Thanks for asking me. And I think I will never get bored of answering this again and again till the time I die. See, the company got started in 2017, right? But I want to take it another 4 years back from there. So 2013, so almost 10 years from today. Things were set for me. I turned 40. I was about to turn 40 at that point of time. And there was no challenges, but I think while we were traveling, Srijana and me, she got ill, and it was that bad that we abandoned our trip and came back to Delhi, and she was diagnosed with UTI, which is a urinary tract infection. It was so severe that she was hospitalized. Right. And while she was recovering, the doctor said, UTI can be for many reasons. Either you hold on the pee, or you sit on the unsanitized washroom, or there are many, many reasons. So unsanitized washroom is one of those reasons. So while we say, tab tak hame ye lagta tha ki, being all the toilet seat which looks clean is sanitized, right? But even at our homes, even at the 5-star hotels, the toilet seat may look clean, but it wasn't sanitized. So the idea, the aha moment came in that, and in fact, one more thing which we researched, that in 2013, 200 million women across the world were suffering from UTI every year, right? Around 10 million women in India alone were suffering from UTI, and these were the reported figure. Now, these are the topics which many women doesn't even tell their husbands, right? They have a urinary infection. So you can imagine how now the numbers may go drastically high, right? So I said, hey, can we do something? I was sitting alone. There was कोई काम नहीं था, कोई challenge नहीं था. Okay, let's figure it out how we can contribute towards reducing the risk of UTI, which has happened to my wife, and can we contribute to it? So I think the idea of PSafe, a toilet seat sanitizer spray, came from a personal incident when my wife suffered from UTI, and we were surprised that there was no such product in the world which was in the form of a product which we were launching, a small canister, strong can, which you can put it into your purse and you can spray it on the toilet seat, and it evaporates and reduces the risk of UTI by killing the bacteria, E. coli bacteria, which was formed. So I think the aha moment was, and I didn't know that this can become so big. But yes, many a time people say, P से कोई नाम भी रखता है क्या? कोई brand name P पे कोई रखता है क्या? So all these kind of stuff. But again, it was, I think destiny was there, so we are here.
So since then, and 10 years ago, a decade ago, today you are a successful brand. But we would be interested, from the idea point that struck you, what was the next step you did? Because this is something which you saw your wife suffer. And then at that time also, 10 million Indian women were suffering from UTI. And these are official numbers, unofficial maybe X of these. So, but converting this into a business and what the opportunity also, and that to the Indian society where, it's a taboo to speak about all these things. How do you see what went in your mind, and what were the steps that you took? Because idea is one thing, putting your idea into action, and then, a full-fledged business is another.
No, absolutely. I think it's all about execution, because isn't this, Dr. Bhatt, that every day morning, me and you will get up with 1,000 ideas and we go back to bed with 1,000 ideas because we don't know how to execute it, right? So since I was an entrepreneur, I always believed in challenges, and all my other businesses were always one of its kind. So I think it was in my DNA to start something which is challenging. And of course, to start a product which is UTI, which is concerned with women's intimate hygiene. And that also, when nobody was talking about it, it was difficult. From 2013 to 2016, we only sold around 100,000 units of toilet seat sanitizer in 4 years. But that was difficult. But again, whosoever used it, they became our best ambassador, because their risk of UTI was going down. The repeat was not happening. The gynecologist was recommending it. And it was under one of my other businesses, which was Safety Card. But to be honest with you, I never thought that I will create a brand out of it. Right. By 2016, and I was so tired because I was going to meeting a lot of people, investors. Can I create this brand? Because if you remember 2017, 2018, there wasn't a word called D2C, direct to consumer, right? It was more of a business. It was more of an FMCG business. Yeah. So I also didn't know the word term D2C. For me, D2C is only a channel, right? It's not a business. So I went out in the market. I said, "Isko base dete." I went out in the market to sell PSafe. I thought, boss, it's a first of its kind. I've sold 100,000 units. And मेरे को तो कम से कम $1 million तो मिल ही जाएगा. That was around 5 crores के आसपास होगा, मिल जाएगा मुझे, because I've sold this much. I'm talking about 16 December. And the world showed me the mirror. I wasn't even getting a 50 lakh rupees for the brand, right? Which was for the future. Then Srijana, my wife, I think one time in the life I have heard, and I really listened to her, was, yeah, why you want to sell it off? You created for love, by love. Why you want to sell it off? You don't need the money, right? Just keep it hanging on there. God knows it may go big or it may tank, but why you want to sell it off? And I think I listened to her, and then cut to 2017, we formed a company, Redcliffe Hygiene. The idea was to create a brand under this platform for toilet hygiene, menstrual hygiene. And this is how PSafe was saved, got into the new company, and the idea was to now create a brand. But yes, before that, lot of trouble. Even while making this company, nobody interested in funding it. No one was advertising it. Still, if you see, we have other brand called Domina, which is a sexual wellness or a female condoms. Google and Facebook doesn't allow us to advertise it, contraceptives. So it has its own share of problem. The shop owners were not ready to keep the products because the name is PSafe. So many, I can just keep on going on and talking about it. But yes, I think when you say it's a big brand, no, sir, we are not even 1% of what we can achieve. I think its journey has just started. But the best part is what has changed is these Gen Zs and the digital reach. The Gen Zs who are so powerful in exploring the new products and voicing their thoughts. I think that has really changed, and a lot of people have now adopted sexual wellness, intimate wellness, and they have come out in open. I think that has really helped us in scaling.
So Vikas, will come to the scaling and the Gen Z part. But I'll just go back to 2016-17 when you then decided let's form a full-fledged company and concentrate more on it. Obviously, the idea was conceived long time back. The first thing that comes when you use a product like this is the quality of the product. For example, a mother will never compromise on any other talc apart from a Johnson's one. So I'm just giving an example. But when it comes to these intimate products, and especially in these areas, what was the assurance of quality? That's where it comes, because ultimately the product will speak if the brand has to be successful.
No, I think that you very important point you have touched. And when your new company is launching a product which is very new in the world, nobody has heard of it, I think the safety, the quality is the first paramount. I think my previous businesses into aerospace and defense had really made my DNA, as in jo cheez karna, it has to be very solid. You just can't, when in defense, you just can't do anything and everything in the world, right? So when we thought of this product, so we went to the best of the manufacturers and we sat with them, we did research, what type of sanitizer, what type of alcohol, what type of fragrance, what type of butane gas will go into that. If you are making a canister or a can, is it an aluminum can? It has a joint or not? So all these things, the cap, the temperature, the shelf life, the permission from the Drugs and the Cosmetic Act, the licenses, the good manufacturing practices. So all these were taken into consideration. It's not a 1 day or a 2 day or a 2 months or a 3 months job. It's a continuous process of evaluating your product on a daily basis. So I think we did all, and we launched, soft launched, and then we started using it. I think these are all aside, but the best, the review which you get, best confidence which you get it is when consumer comes back to you or write to you that, hey, Vikas, I have started using PSafe. I had a perennial problem of UTI. My UTI has gone down. My infection rate has gone down. When you see that gynecologists are recommending it, right? Then you get this confidence. So I think it's a mix of everything, Dr. Bhatt. But yes, we have taken the best route of the best of the manufacturers, the best of the practices, launch the product, and then listen to our consumers how we can be better. I think this is the best way any product can be launched. Just listen to your consumer and keep on evolving.
So one of the marketing and business lessons for all of us is listen to your consumer, and the customer, because customer is always right. But I'm sure you must have faced all those impediments during those initial years, which any entrepreneur faces, while launching a product or a brand. What was your major challenge? Was it from funding side, manufacturing side, the concept itself, communication? What was your major challenge and how did you overcome it?
I think, the life is full of challenges. The entrepreneurial life is full of challenges. Launching a product is full of challenges. But out of all the 4-5 top challenges which I had, I think the first challenge was passing on the knowledge that this product may work. Because when you are creating a category, you take a hit. So that was there, that how I can make my people believe that the product will work. Number one, how I can use the minimum marketing dollars and get the product to people to sample and to try. That was a different challenge. Third, I think a man coming into a female hygiene or a female intimate wellness was the biggest challenge I faced initially. 2014, 15, 16, 17, nobody used to take me seriously. Used to say, yaar, uska aur kuch to matlab nahi hai. Why he wants to talk about female anatomy, female intimate wellness? Why a man talking about it? So that was also one of the biggest challenge which has changed completely. But absolutely. Initially, yes, it was. So I have to fight with many women, and they say, no, I also can talk about it. I have also learned about it. Why can't men stand, or why can't he for she? I think that was the term I used to use, he for she. So I think that was the main challenge. Manufacturing, no, because I was a serial entrepreneur. I know manufacturing. Marketing was not a problem. Funding, initially I funded from my own, but yes, to convince investor that though it's a small category, it's a category building, it will go big one day. So that was also a biggest challenge. I think the second challenge was the funding, to convince investor that though it's a very, very, it's not a personal product, it's not electronic, it's not fashion, which can bloom next day. It will take time, and still is taking time. It's still one of the smallest category in the world. But I think that will gonna grow for sure. So yeah, these are the top 3 challenges I had.
When was your investor convinced? At what stage?
No, very interestingly, and I always say in this open forum, everyone got convinced what I was doing it, but nobody was putting money. बोलते ना पहला कौन लगाएगा?
Yeah, who will bail, but it's not bailing, but yes, we'll take that risk. But so, you did mention about some numbers, and from India's demographics, I think those numbers 100% support this idea, because you have got the market in front of you, and still you had to face those funding challenges. Is something which was very very difficult for you to overcome.
No, so numbers are there, numbers are still there, but the point is, if I give you an example of a feminine hygiene industry in India, and again some numbers I'm quoting, right? When I started 2017, the feminine hygiene industry in India was only around 3,500 crores, right? And that 3,500 crores had a duopoly of 2 big players who were manufacturing sanitary pads. Now, they had around 95% market share. Now, at that point of time, the penetration of sanitary pads in India was only 20%. Right? Now it's around 32-33%. Government says it's around 40%, but the private player says it's around 32%. Right?
Okay.
So now you can imagine, in that small category, nobody was interested in how big that can grow, because penetration was very low. Right? So now today, the feminine hygiene industry is around 6,000 crores. So after 6 years, it has only gone double.
Okay.
And if you consider every other industry, right, which has, so beauty and personal care may be around $40 billion industry, right?
Agree.
This is, so that was the biggest challenge. But again, if you remove the incumbents of the sanitary pads, the two, we know, I'm not taking the brand name, we know who are they. If you remove it, so 10% are left, 10% is left, 10% में से 5% और हटा दीजिए जो second, third, fourth manufacturers है, 5% is left. Now within that 5%, we are there. And from 0 to whatever we are doing right now, we have covered that journey, right? And after us, there are 10 to 12 similar, Me Too kind of products has come up, and that's very happy about it, because I'm the guy who always say that collaboration makes the pie bigger, right? So I bring more and more people into the industry where आप लोग आओ ताकि हम और बड़े हों. So I think that's their investors का यही चीज था. But yes, this is growing, and I think more and more confidence are picking. And so coming back to you again, to your question was, who did it? So Dheeraj, a friend of mine, he said, Vikas, let's make a company, and I will help you raise funding. Dheeraj at that point of time, and now also he's one of the very India's #1 prolific investors, one of few of the top prolific investors. And he believed, so many people started believing, and then we raised our first round in June 2017 at around 15 crore valuation. Or just 6 months back, nobody was giving me 50 lakhs of rupees.
See, that's what the magic you have done. And today, you have, it's been 2 years that PSAFE has raised funds, I think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what are your current future plans for that? And before we come to the funding part, because that's a separate section that I have, I want to talk to you about. Can you just, when you're talking about the numbers and the demographics, what would be the current market that you said is 6,000 crores? It has doubled in 6 years' time. It has doubled. So where do you see this, going ahead, and how has the Indian women accepted these products? You did mention Gen Z, but I'm talking not only about Gen Z, the bracket from 10 years to 40, 48, 52 that you mentioned. How has the women accepted? So one is the market size going ahead. Second, how has the women accepted this? And then we come to the funding part.
So I think the market size is going to grow very well because previously there was only a couple of products to offer, which was, say, sanitary pads, right? But now if you see more and more intimate hygiene, sustainable menstrual care, sexual wellness, all these kind of products, are being added. Many, so like the panty liners and menstrual cups. So that has actually grown up the category, right? The best part is look at US with a 300 million population. Their feminine hygiene business was somewhere around $8 billion, right? And look at India, because in US, the penetration of sanitary pad or the menstrual products is 100%, right? India is only 28, 30, 32%.
Yeah.
So what government is doing is, and I think it's mainly because of government and mainly because of the Instagram and the Gen Zs, because they have started talking about it. We as a brand have also talked about men buy pads. We have shown ads where father buying pads for the first time when the daughter turned puberty and all. So we are doing those kind of campaigns. So I think these things have increasing it, the penetration, the TVs. In fact, the movie Padman, huge fan of what Akshay Kumar did it.
Yes.
It really increased the penetration. Look at our Prime Minister in 2020 Independence Day message speech from the Red Fort. He committed 12,000 crore investment into sanitary pads. He used the word sanitary pads from Red Fort. Never ever happened in India's, at that point of time, 72 years of independence. So these things are helping, and these things makes us confidence and other entrepreneurs confidence that the penetration will grow. So you can't even imagine the numbers which can come through, because this is a classical CPG, consumer packaged goods, just like Colgate, just like your shampoo, just like your toothbrush or toothpaste. जैसे खत्म होगा आपको लेना पड़ेगा, और every month 5 दिन तो चाहिए आपको.
Absolutely.
So this is, it's unfortunate that people in India, the rest people in India, say around 67 or 70% population, they use rugs, banana leaves, ashes, old clothes as menstrual care product. So it's a huge opportunity for everyone to come in.
Next related question is related to emergence of Femtech. Femtech, the sector dedicated to women's health and wellness technology, is gaining momentum. Do you think the space, the awareness is increasing, like you mentioned about the PM and the budgets that have been allocated, etc. Instagram you spoke about. So I think the awareness is increasing, but the space is also getting saturated. And that's where it is. You said more competition is good. And I also believe that competition should be there. Having said that, where do you see this Femtech space, going ahead in the next couple of years? So
if you ask any of the sanitary pad manufacturers, they won't qualify themselves as a Femtech. They will say more of feminine hygiene. Now, when Femtech comes in, it was more of using technology for anything which is related to feminine hygiene, right? So we have seen many young entrepreneurs are getting into Femtech. Now, what they have been doing is they are bringing in period trackers, or they are bringing in different type of question and answers, or a platform where a person can go and talk about their sexual wellness, menstrual hygiene, or something like that. But we have seen there are 20, 25 or more such platform has come up. Now, I think everyone is trying their best, right? And it's actually increasing the category, right? But what I'm going to see is that, and you're right, it's going to saturate, because they're only catering to that 11% of Instagram population, or the tier 1 or tier 2 population. But the real problem is that 72% who are not exposed to menstrual care or a period care products. So till the time we go and do vernacular, till the time we go deep into the tier 3, tier 4 and tier 5 cities, this market share will not grow.
Okay. So today it has been catered to India, but not to Bharat.
Absolutely. The Femtech is India, not Bharat. You need to bring Femtech to Bharat and then see the changes, that how people grow. And we have every infrastructure in place. There are very few Femtech who does in vernacular language.
Okay.
Very few vernacular language. We need different languages.
Because this is a great insight, and an opportunity as well for all the players, that you'll have to get into the vernacular languages to communicate better and increase the market share. You started with one product, and now you have got a bouquet of products. The portfolio has grown. At what stage you decided that let's get into concentric diversification related products? What was that? When was that, and how did you make it?
I think when we started PSAFE 2.0, or maybe when we formed Directive Hygiene in April 2017, see, I would have taken a route of online only, right? At that point of time, one product would have been happy. But I always believed, call me old school, but I always believed that if you have to grow in India or worldwide, jo dikhta hai wo bikta hai, right? You have to be present at the point of sale. So when we started offline from day one, it wasn't that easy and cheap to sell one product with your sales team and going into the market and placing on the shelf, because shelf is expensive. So we saw, okay, toilet seat sanitizer. Okay, so what are the adjacent category can be? So toilet hygiene ke saath mein, okay, menstrual is completely related, intimate is completely related, right? And so we have a purpose statement always. We never had a vision or a mission statement. The purpose was to reduce the risk of UTI and to get PSAFE toilet seat sanitizer in every woman's purse. So when that purpose was there, and when you are building offline also, single product will never be helpful and it's expensive. So that is how from toilet seat sanitizer, first thing was into intimate wash, then biodegradable pads, then tampons, then menstrual cups. So the focus of puberty to menopause stayed there. Once you acquire a consumer, they will always stay with you. And if you can gain that trust, they will not go anywhere for whatever intimate hygiene requirement they have. So I think this is the mixture of consumer need, opportunity, and of course, because we want to do offline, you just can't do one product and go offline.
You are in three different areas: toilet, menstrual, and intimate. What part of your product portfolio? Obviously, your cash cow has to be PSAFE from that perspective. But where do you see the other products, going ahead as an acceptance and the growth coming from the other products?
The menstrual cups and panty liners. The menstrual cup is actually made of medical grade silicone, which is a period care product, which is an alternative to a sanitary pads or a tampons. A sanitary pads takes around 300 years to degrade, right? 300 years, one sanitary pad. A menstrual cup, one single menstrual cup can be used for 5 years and it can be recycled, right? It costs only 350 rupees for 5 years. And a sanitary pads, if you take the lowest of the pyramid, may take around 800 rupees per year, means for 12 to 13 cycles. So you are already paying around 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees or maybe around 3,000 rupees for 5 years. If you take the lower of the pyramid, right? Yeah, you asking.
Communicate this, 5 years is it's a long time. And, having said that, how do you communicate? So I can see a unique selling proposition out here. But how is the acceptance of these cups currently from a overall market share in India, and not only particularly about your company?
So India is around a market now at around 110 to 120,000 cups a month now, right? In January 2020, we were selling 2,000 cups a month. We are close to somewhere around 35,000 to 40,000 cups a month now. So acceptance is huge, because while wearing a cup, just to give you some difference between a pad and a cup.
Yes.
You need to change pads every 4 hours or 5 hours, right? You need at least 10 to 12 pads for the entire cycle, 5 days of cycle. Maybe 8, agar flow kam hai to 8, agar zyada hai to 12. A cup can be worn for 12 hours, right? You can pee, poop, and swim while wearing the cup. Right? So this is what the benefit, the way women are becoming more aligned towards their body. And what I've understood, Dr. Bhatt, is that the Gen Zs nowadays, for them, being sick, being not healthy is being sick, right? Being healthy is a way of life. And what has happened now is, I've worked with Gen Zs in my office. They are all, or my consumers are there. They don't want to use products which their parents were using it. So they want to explore more and more products. So I think the adaptation of menstrual cup was the Gen Zs. And I made a mistake while I launched menstrual cup. I started marketing to my generation people. I was, between early 40s and all. But if you remember, while we were growing up, we were never allowed. And again, you may edit it also here. The hymen was very important for every female, the virginity. That's why tampons was not used in India. Otherwise, 98% of Americans use tampons. Right? So the same mindset was there in my age group. They don't want to give it to their daughter. But that has changed for the millennials and Gen Zs.
So what I can comprehend here is it's the millennials and the Gen Zs who have created this category.
Absolutely.
Or these products, because they are not adopting what their parents, their mothers have used, but they want to explore something new. And this takes me to the next question: is still a long way to go for the cups, etc., to be adopted in the society, because these are direct competitions to the pads. And that's where we see that the market dynamics going ahead will change. Like you mentioned, 110K cups being sold currently today per month, and you sell around 2,000-3,000 of them. So cool 2-3% market share is what you are having.
No, so that was in. So I want to correct it here. We were selling 2,000 cups in January 2020.
Oh, okay. 3 years back.
Now we sell around 35 to 40,000 cups a month.
Wow. So who is the market leader here? Vikas, where
no
are
doubt,
you?
No doubt, Sirona is number one. I really like what Sirona Deep has done. So between two of us, we sell around 70 to 80% of the cups. Yeah.
Excellent. That's fantastic. How did this happen? You did mention about the communication with the Gen Z and the millennials. But you also got a fantastic product, and then the distribution, then the communication.
It's all about communication. It's all about communication. Because we as a brand, if you see our Instagram also, we have been so vocal about menstrual care, about sustainability. We as PSF as a brand talks about gender equality, inclusiveness, and sexuality. So, today's Gen Zs, they want to hear these words. Because for them, inclusivity, ally, we are in June, we are in a Pride month. We talk about that, So when as a brand you market these communication, and you tell how to use it, where to use it. We not only sell menstrual cup, but we also sell the ancillaries attached to it, like how to use boil it, or there is a sterilizers, or there are the cup washes. So these things are required, and what we do is, you won't believe that we have many customers who comes to us and said how to use it, what are the different folds, but they are not our PSF users. They are different brand users, but they come to us as a thought leadership, because we have taken that onus. Okay, we have to teach people about menstrual cup. It doesn't matter they use us or they use others, because पहले 2,000 पीस बिकता था, आज 40,000 पीस बिक रहा है. Category grow हुआ है. So we want more and more people to know about it.
You did mention how important is it for you, the concepts of sustainability, inclusiveness, because this is not only the Gen Z who are, relating themselves and resonates with, sustainable products, but as a company also, what ethos you have from a sustainability, perspective.
No plastics are being used in our packaging. All our mono cartons, most of the mono cartons are made of recycled papers. We take ESG very, very strongly. We are working on the ESG, how we can be ESG compliant, because that's what how we can count our carbon credits. We use old newspapers which we buy from Raddis at say 3 rupees or 4 rupees kilos, and we have a big shredder machines. So instead of a plastic or a virgin shredder paper, we use recycled newspaper shredder papers. Right. So and of course, our entire period care range is made of sustainable products. So we have a biodegradable and organic pads. Same goes with our tampons, menstrual cups, and our reusable sanitary pads. We are also offering reusable sanitary pads, which can be washed, dried, and you use again for good 60 washes. So for entire 1 year, somebody can use a reusable pads instead of a one-time use pads. So I think we as a company, we are very, very strictly on what we need to do towards sustainability and contribute to our climate, right from our packaging to our product to our communications.
I think this is awesome, because yours is a truly sustainable brand, and it's not just lip service like many do. Having said that, I had asked a few questions back. I had asked you about funding. And your struggle was funds, which any entrepreneur goes through that struggle in the initial years of their journey. Currently, what are your plans? And when you raise a fund, or when somebody raises a fund, or let me ask you this direct question: when you raised your fund, what was your most important you can say the reason for you to raise this fund? Because you needed it for manufacturing, for marketing, or for what? That was one. Second, what would be your future plans from a fundraise perspective? Because this will be an insight for the other entrepreneurs as well, where at what stage should you raise or should you not raise is something which you can share your insights.
Perfect. So 3 questions. I'll maybe if I forget the questions, please repeat me again for that. So the first part is, of course, fundraising was challenged. 2017, Dheeraj came on board. He helped. My friends and family and his friends and family invested and as an angel investor. But to grow and to build a company, you need institutional investors, right? You need VCs or a PE at a different stages of your life. The whole of 2018, mid 2018 till 2019, early 2019, I met a lot of VCs. Unfortunately, with all regards to everyone, nobody believed in the category. But the only person believed turns out to be a woman. Because I was building for women, right? And Alchemy Venture Fund or Alka Goyal, she believed in what we can build it. And then she was our first serious investors or a venture investors, you can say, or institutional investors. And we started talking in early 2019, and we closed our first fundraise of $4 million, or maybe around 27, 28 crores in October 2019. So yeah, so I think it took challenge. I won't say that people didn't understand or only it took a woman to understand, but I think the category, the product, the whatever I was building was difficult to make to people understand that it can work or it may not work. I don't know how they look at. But again, post-COVID, we did again raise funding. Again, Alchemy invested in us, and a few more people come on board. And again, last year was a challenge for us because of the ecosystem, not because of the business, because of the ecosystem, the growth and the category and everything. So I think we are good. We are in process of raising fund now again. We raised 2 years back in 21. So we are in process of hopefully we'll raise. So about this first question of yours. So you asked me also that when to raise and when not to raise.
Yes.
I've seen, Dr. Bhatt, many a time people or young entrepreneurs, they wake up one day and they say, I have an idea and I need funding. Because they are starstruck with the poster boys of India, because they have raised billions and billions of dollars. So my suggestion is just don't start a business to raise funding. Number one, funding is the most expensive debt you can take because you're giving away equity, right? I think you need funding when you don't need it. In that point of time, you can really negotiate well with somebody who's investing in it. If you are on the verge of closing your businesses, if you don't have a runway, you will take funding at whatever terms you want, or whatever terms they want. So create, and I always say that customers are your biggest investors. If your product mix is right, if you have the product is selling, you don't need funding at all. But yes, if you have a scale, but now the things have changed, Dr. Bhatt. Now, वो scale, growth वाला scale नहीं है, profitability वाली आ गई है.
Absolutely. Now it's profitability.
Absolutely.
All the gas has to evaporate, and the fat has to go and the muscle has to stay.
Absolutely.
So that's the way it is. Last question, Vikas, before I go to the second part and the last part of the rapid fire round. How do you envision PSafe's role in driving the agenda of personal hygiene and wellness in the years to come?
I think we'll always be that first mover of bringing in innovative product and being bold in our communication. We as a brand, we will be more than welcoming to any entrepreneur who come and can expand the category. We want to collaborate with people. We want to share our knowledge of the mistakes which we did. Because with a penetration of only 30%, 70% can't be done alone by PSafe. So we need more and more people coming in, and let's not try to pull each other down, but try to work together for the health of Indian women. I think that's what we see PSafe still there, thriving out, fighting it out. I think that's what entrepreneurship is all about.
Absolutely. Well said, Vikas. I think here is Vikas Bagaria inviting competition, and ready to share knowledge and, co-create and come together as team to increase the awareness, to increase the usage of this product, to increase the category, and thus help, attain that personal hygiene and wellness for the women of India for the years to come. Vikas, that was awesome. Last, this is a rapid fire round, and you'll have to quickly answer these 5-6 questions that I'm going to ask you.
Yep.
And these are some of the googlies, but yes, I know you can throw them out of the stadium as well. What is your favorite feature of your product?
Usability.
Usability. What is the most memorable customer feedback you have received?
My mother uses it and she never gets UTI after start using it.
Okay. If you could collaborate with any celebrity for an endorsement, who would it be?
I think I'll answer this as a differently because we had already worked with celebrity. I think I'll collaborate with my customers or with a gynecologist who can really be the users, not a celebrity who may not use my product. So I want to use the real celebrity who's my users or who's my customer.
Excellent. What is the most challenging aspect of running a brand like PSafe?
Tabooness.
If you had to describe PSafe's brand personality in 3 words, what would they be?
Bold, innovative, young.
Bold, innovative, young. Yes. If you could give one superpower to your product, what would it be?
Refill itself.
Wow. Refill itself. And last one, name one brand you see as your closest competitor.
I think Sirona.
Okay.
We are a very good competitors. We talk to each other. So I think Sirona, Deep has done a great job. It got acquired, so he's on his way out. But I think Deep has done a great job in widening the category. Yeah.
One more question, Vikas, which I would like to ask you is about PSafe operations. Can you give in numbers, about some details about PSafe operations?
Yeah, sure. Not the absolute numbers, but I can say that PSafe, we never qualified ourselves as a D2C brand because for us or for me personally, D2C is one of the channel. And at this moment, our D2C sales is less than 10%. It means from our own website. So how PSafe operation is that we manufacture our products through various contract manufacturers, and a couple of products are imported out of India. So that's what we do as a product. We have a very strong R&D in-house who looks into the quality and the development of the packaging and other compliances. PSafe is distributed across India in, say, 60% online and 40% offline. We are present in more than 12,000 stores across India in more than 90 cities. We are present at the point of sales. So be it airport or the platforms or the dhabas near the highways or the malls, washrooms, or the corporates washrooms or the cafes. They buy and put it on in their washrooms. So that's there. When it comes to toilet seat sanitizers, when it comes to other period products, we have tied up with NGOs. We have tied up with the CSR funds of various corporates, where we are asking them not to use sanitary pads because those are contributing toward pollution. To start using a menstrual or distributing a menstrual cup, which is easier to distribute, which can be used for 5 years. Apart from this, PSafe, I can say that, and I'm happy to say that we want to be world's one of the finest feminine hygiene brand other than a pad. So we have divided our international sales into two categories again. The grown-up market, or maybe if I say it, the matured market like the North America and Europe, we sell online through Amazon's and other online verticals. And all the developing market and the SAARC, like the Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, or the UAE, or the Africa, we have a distribution model. So they sell online and offline as well. So yeah, we have around 18 countries who are selling our products.
Wow, 18 countries, 90 cities, 12,000 stores, 60% online, 40% offline. You are not only omni-channel, but you are omnipresent as well.
That's the word we use internally, that we are omnipresent, because we are at the airports, we are the stations, we are the bus stations, so we are omnipresent. Yeah.
Vikas, with your insights, experience, and knowledge, it's over years and decades. But I can see clearly that your thought process is that of a 20-year-old.
No, I think you have to think like a 20-year-old. Reason being, the average age in PSafe is 24, right? And if you remove me, I'll be 50 this year, right? If you remove me or a couple of more people, then of course it's around 24. To work with them, to compete with them, you really need to be in that mind frame. And the product which we are bringing in, which is intimate hygiene, intimate wellness, sexual wellness, you have to be on Instagram, you have to be on the digital. So you have to have that kind of aura, you have to have that kind of mindset and learnings. So I keep on learning from these youngsters in my organization, and I always be competitive in it. Ki yaar, main aapko isme beat kar dunga. I know this before you. So these kind of stuff keep me young in my brain, yeah, in my mind.
So you have to be with the youngsters, not only think but also act. And if you are with them, but naturally, the progression is that the product that you are catering to, the segment that you are catering to, the Gen Zs and the millennials, etc., you have to become one of them, and that can happen only if you think and act the way they do it. So that was a fantastic insight, Vikas. Thank you very much, Vikas Bagaria, for these wonderful insights. Your story is awesome. And as you rightly mentioned before the start of the show, that this is just the tip of the iceberg. The journey has just begun. We wish you all the best for taking the women's health and hygiene in India to the next level, and hopefully globally as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.